Hey sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. I'm sorry, I really don't like doing rant type videos. I love this hobby. I love collecting baseball cards, looking at baseball cards, talking about baseball cards, interacting with the great YouTube community surrounded by others who love this hobby. But every once in a while, something happens that just gets under my skin. It happened today. I just felt like I needed to do a video to vent, to get it out of my system, and then hopefully get back to enjoying this hobby that I love. As you know, I am working on building a 1978 Topps baseball set from scratch. The 78 set is special to me. It's the first year I started buying packs of cards and collecting baseball cards. So this set that I'm putting together is not just a haphazard set just to have the set. I could go out and just buy a 1978 Topps set and be done with it. But I wanted this set to be special. So every card from a common to a Hall of Fame player card, I want one that's fairly well centered, that has nice corners, that's a really nice eye appeal card top to bottom throughout the set. I've been working on this for maybe about 2 years, and I'm down to 13 cards that I need. I've been to probably at least 2 nationals during that time, 1 Strongsville show. I don't get to a lot of card shows. And at those shows, I've gone to different dealer tables and looked through their binders of 78 Topps cards. I bought like one starter set and a couple large lot of cards to help me get through my way. There have been some YouTubers who have reached out and provided me some great copies for my set. But I was down to these last 13. And about a week ago, I was like, look, I want to get this done with. I want to complete the set. And I knew that these 13 remaining cards, I was probably going to have to go onto eBay and find them. Now, other than the Eddie Murray and the Alan Trammell Paul Molitor rookie cards, those were the big ones that I need. The other 11 really aren't that expensive cards. Most of them are some Hall of Famers, but I think the most that the others were going to cost me maybe $7-8 including shipping. Most of them I figured I'd pick up in the $2 to $3, maybe $4 range. So we're talking inexpensive cards. These are ungraded cards for my set. And so about a week ago, I said, all right, I want to try to maybe get this done by the end of the year. I sat down at my computer, went through eBay, a ton of listings, just going through, listing after listing, seeing cards that were, the corners were bent, way off center, creases, this. I managed to find 10 that I thought were good examples of cards, had the right eye appeal for my set. And again, they weren't very expensive cards. So they were all buy it now. I didn't worry about any auctions. And since I bought them, I've received 6 of the 10 cards so far. Now, 2 days ago, I received one of the cards, and I looked at it right away, didn't see an issue with it. It was only when I was putting it in a different sleeve that I noticed something wrong with it. That really didn't bother me. It was okay, a little unfortunate, meant that I would have to go out and find another copy. Grand scheme of things, no big deal. I let it just, run off my back, water off my back, just no big deal. But then today, I get another card in the mail. So this is the second card out of only 6 that I've received so far. Opened it up from the package, looked at it, and this is what put me sort of over the edge and making me doing this video. So I'm going to be turning the camera around, and I'm going to show off the 2 cards that the first one maybe built it up to the second one, but it's just a frustration when you're buying fairly inexpensive ungraded cards through eBay. I'm going to go into more detail here. I've bought a lot of Wade Boggs cards, cheap Wade Boggs cards, ungraded, and for the most part, I mean, I've bought thousands, and the percentage of ones that I've had an error are so small. So it's not like I was going into this with a big worry, but so far 2 out of 6 cards just, I don't know, just led to me being frustrated. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show off these 2 examples that caused me to do this video. All right, the first card that I want to talk about is the Raleigh Fingers card. Now, before I show the actual card that I received, here's an image from the eBay listing. As you can see, it's a fairly well-centered card. The corners look nice. Here's a more detailed look at the top half of the card. This is exactly the type of card I was looking for my set. Of course, the all-in price with shipping and tax was like $2.50, so very inexpensive. But because it was an inexpensive card, it came in a plain white envelope. Shipping, I think, was under $1. May have even been free shipping. I can't remember. And it didn't come in a top loader, but a card saver, a semi-rigid holder. And when I first got the card, everything seemed fine. It wasn't until I put it in another holder that I realized something was wrong with it. So here is the actual card. Now, upon first looking at it, it looks just like the listing. Really nice example. I mean, exactly what I was looking for. Okay, no issues. Okay, I was fine. But then I took it out of, I think there was either some tape or writing on the card saver that it came in, and I wanted to in order to do an upcoming video to show the cards off, I was going to put it in a new card saver. So I took the card out, took it out of the penny sleeve, and it was then that I noticed, and hopefully it'll show up on camera here. Yeah, right there. See those wrinkles? That was not in the image. So because it was in a card saver, it probably just got bent a little bit in the plain white envelope, and now this is not suitable for my set. Otherwise, it would, it's a great looking card, but I don't think this is how the card was in the listing. Now, I didn't reach out to the seller. I wasn't going to complain. In this case, it wasn't the seller's fault. It just, hey, things happen in the mail, especially with a plain white envelope. Again, a $2.50 card. I was not going to let this get me down. I went on eBay that same night, found another copy. It cost me, I think, maybe 25 cents more. Okay, so just under $3 or something. And hopefully that one will come nice and clean like the listing. So this is sort of what started it. So this was the first one of the 10 that I had an issue with. But again, this would not have caused me to do this video. It was today, actually yesterday from when this video is going to be posting, but I received, one of the ones I needed was the Reggie Jackson record breaker card. Here's a picture from the eBay listing. Well centered, looks like nice corners. Again, the type of card that I want for my set. Well, I opened the package. Now this time it actually came in a top loader. No damage to the card, but this is the card that I received. Now, compare that to the image that I showed from the eBay listing, and here's the back of the card. You see how off-center the back is? This is not the card from the listing. This centering is just not acceptable to me for my set. So I'm thinking, did the seller have more than one copy? Did he send me the wrong card? So now, to his credit, I did this just, I don't know why, but it was probably, all right, the Raleigh Fingers, okay, if it's a one-off thing, no big deal. Now, this one was with the card and shipping and tax. This was maybe closer to $5, $4 or $5. And a little bit more, it's maybe double what I paid for the Raleigh Fingers. And it was just the fact that came, and like 1 or 2 days later, this card came, and it just sent me over the edge. Let me know in the comments, maybe I'm overreacting, but this is not the card that is shown on the listing. I would not have bought this card. I mean, he's way off center, top to bottom, and look at the back. It's, I don't know. This is not the card that I wanted for my set. Now, this time I did message the seller, and I said, and I took a picture, and I said, look, I got the card today, but this is not the card from the listing. I didn't know whether he had multiple copies, whether he sent me the wrong one, but I said, look, I would not have bought this card. I do not want this card. I want the card in the listing. And to the seller's credit, he responded fairly quickly, and he said, yes, I had multiple copies of the card. I must have sent you the wrong one. I'll try to find the one from the listing, and we'll let you know, or I'll refund your money. Well, again, it's not about the money. So hopefully he can find the correct card from the listing. We can work something out. Heck, I'm even willing to send this back to him. But, I want the card that I bought. And so let's say he can't find it. Well, I sent that card to someone else who maybe bought this card in the listing, and he refunds my money. Now I'm back doing the same thing with the Raleigh Fingers. Now I got to find another copy. And let me tell you, if you do a search for some of these cards, 78s, at least the last 13 I'm looking for, are so hard to find, well-centered, or without ink blotches or bad corners. It took me a while to search through 300 or 400 listings to find this card. And I don't know how long it's going to take me again to find one that meets my eye appeal. So hopefully the seller can find the correct card from the listing, and we can work something out. Like I said, I'm even willing to send this card back to him. But if he can't find it and refunds my money, now I'm back to square one, trying to find this 77 record breaker card of Reggie Jackson. And so let me know, have you experienced something like that? If you buy ungraded cards, especially vintage, because modern cards, I think for whatever reason may not have this situation as often. But to me, if you're a seller and you're selling multiple copies of the same card, put some inventory system together. That way because I'm sure I'm not the only one who buys a particular card because of the eye appeal. I don't want just a random Reggie Jackson record breaker card. I mean, if I did, I would just look for the cheapest listing, and I don't care if it's off-center, corners are bent, there's creases all over. I just buy the card. I'm buying a well-centered card with nice corners, and that's what I expect to get. If this was a more expensive card, they would have, I'm sure, maybe not have had multiple copies. In this case, for the Raleigh Fingers, if this was a more expensive card, it probably would have come in a top loader and a bubble mailer. But because these were fairly inexpensive cards, I would prefer to have been able to find these at card shows. But the ones I've looked through, and in the binders, you're lucky to maybe find 2 or 3 copies of a card. And again, with these 78s, sometimes they're so hard to find centered and with nice corners and without any ink blotches or print marks. I'm being very discerning with my 78 set. This is why it's taking so long. So would love to know in the comments, have you come across this with any cheap vintage cards that you either didn't get the card that you thought was from the listing, or the card came damaged because it came in a plain white envelope and not much protection and got damaged in the mail, and you're not out a whole lot of money, but you have to go through the process again of maybe finding another card on eBay. So again, I apologize for doing this rant video. I hate doing rants, but this card just got under my skin. I don't know why. Maybe I was having a bad week at work. I don't know. But when I got this card in the mail after that Raleigh Fingers, and this not being the right card, being so off center, you know how I am with centering, this is just not acceptable at all for what I'm looking for. And hopefully this will get resolved, that I'm not going to have to go out and find another example on eBay. So thank you for watching this and letting me vent and getting this out of my system. I promise after this, I'm going to have a positive attitude about the hobby and collecting baseball cards. So with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.